Now we're back up in northern Manitoba. I tell you what, one of my favorite fish to fish for is lake trout. And you get up north here, we're on Cranberry here today, but you look at, I mean, there's Appapath, there's Reed Lake, there's Clearwater, Tramping. We call it the Trout Triangle. I mean, there's just so much good trout water up in this area. It's early in the year, so we're still able to spot lock and catch these fish in less than 40 feet of water. And you know, I tell you what, back in the day, you know, people used to troll with wire, they used to troll with downriggers, maybe snap weights. Sometimes we would drift and we would jig spoons below the boat, just drift across these deep areas, and we caught fish. But what really changed lake trout fishing up here in my mind is spot lock, where you can just sit in one spot over deep water. You can mark these pods of fish and just sit right over the top of them and jig them up right below the boat. I just love fishing for these fish. It's one of my favorite things to do. So we're just going off the tip of these islands here, the tips of these points, and basically looking for deep rocks, deep boulders. Find the deep boulders on the side imaging, see if we can see fish on our electronics, get right over the top of them, spot lock, and it's a fun way to catch lake trout. Look at them on the active target there. There's a fish.
All right.
Got him. Oh, is that so cool?
Yes.
Whoa. Look at that. That is so cool. There's like 6 of them down there fighting over it. Oh, this is some of the funnest fishing there is. Oh, look at there. Nice lake trout. Wrapped up on the line there. Oh my. Go ahead and squeeze her. There we go.
Nice one, Jason.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Is that a beautiful fish or what? Good thing I was holding on to the rod, huh? Grab the pliers over here.
Were you jigging pretty hard?
You know, I saw that fish come in, just like ice fishing. I just kept lifting it up, making them chase it, and fish just came in and ate it. Yeah, look at that. That's just a great lake trout. Get her in the water. There she goes. Whew. That is fun. That is fun. You know, that's the thing, you know, we're in 30 feet of water right now, but if you got calm enough conditions, and we've done this in 80 feet of water, we've done this a lot out on Fort Peck, where we just go off on the tips of these points, deep structure, and just mark fish, get right over the top of them, fish right below the boat. Obviously it works straight up here, and so you don't have to have downriggers to catch lake trout. And in my mind, catching them below the boat like this, jigging, it's as fun as it gets. This is the bait that we're using, just a rattle bait. There's a lot of different things that work. Yeah, you could use tubes, you use a jig and a plastic fluke. These rattle baits are fun. You just want something that fishes heavy and also has big enough hooks on. I mean, you see here we got to pinch the barbs down. Got that those bigger treble hooks on there, but you just want hooks that are big enough to pierce that beak of a lake trout. It's like trying to hook a parrot in this deep water. So it's straight braided line, tying straight to the bait, no snaps, nothing that can break, no extra knots. And that's the program. But it's so cool when you can see them on the active target. That just adds another element of fun to this. You can see them down there darting in and darting out. When I set the hook on that last fish, I could see it fighting. It is pretty cool. You know, so if you don't have downriggers, don't stress. You can catch all kinds of lake trout. And I would argue that vertically jigging below the boat is one of the very funnest ways to catch a lake trout. We've done it up in Canada on fly-in trips out of small boats. We've done it on Fort Peck. Especially if you have spot lock on your trolling motor, it makes it so much easier. So you just basically get off the ends of these points, get over the top of fish, and start vertically jigging, and you'll see these fish, even on 2D sonar, you'll see these fish racing up and following your bait. And so basically for fishing heavy below the boat, you can't beat just a simple tube jig. And so this is just a Northland level-headed tube jig. Basically, it's a lot of the same tackle that you're going to use through the ice. And so your tube jigs catch a lot of lake trout, vertically jigging below the boat. Your rattle baits are always a good choice, or even just a simple jig and fluke. You just make sure you have a really stout hook. If you're using a jig and plastic, but you can use soft plastic paddle tails on a jig, you can use fluke style minnows on a jig, and basically it's a game of keep away. You drop it down and you're just trying to trigger these fish, keep that bait moving, and a lot of times these fish will come up 20, 30 feet or more sometimes to hit these baits. And so definitely a fun way to catch a lake trout. There's a fish. Wow, that fish.
Oh, baby.
Wow. That fish shot up 10 feet to hit it. Oh yeah, nice lake trout. Whoa.
Going for a ride.
Oh my. Thing's gonna tow us off course here.
Yeah.
Oh.
Nice one. Good one.
Boy.
Attaboy, Jason.
Great fish. Great fish. Oh, hooker here. Yeah, you can just feel that bait vibrating. There's a lot of ciscos or tullibees in these lakes these fish are eating. And, oh, that lure came out already. Gotta love barbless hooks. You drop these ripping shads down, and you can just feel them vibrating. You know, we're pumping them 4 or 5 feet. These fish show up, you know, so you can get them to chase it. Yeah, just a great representation of a lake trout. That is just gorgeous. And they are so strong. I'll get the line off of her here. There we go. Yeah, just a beautiful fish. I'll get her in the water right away. Good stuff. Good stuff. When they hit, I swear your rod is bent all the way down to the handle. You can feel the handle bending.
Yeah, and these fish aren't really just tapping it. They're coming by and just
Oh yeah,
nailing
there's
it.
no doubt in your mind when one hits.
Rod's just loaded up like that.
Yeah, that's the ultimate freshwater predator in my mind. If you're a fish less than 15 inches living in a lake like this and you're within 50 yards of a lake trout, you're in deep trouble. You know, a lot of times I'm starting all the way down to the bottom. You can see these fish are kind of running along the bottom. And I'm just hopping it up 4 or 5 feet, see if I get them to chase it. And a lot of times these fish are kind of hitting it on the top of the hop. And every once in a while, if one comes in and kind of stalls, I can shake it in place and kind of bounce it. But these fish kind of want it moving away from them. I've had some fish followed up 10, 15 feet up off the bottom. And there's times we get 4 or 5 of them down there going after, and that's really exciting. There's a fish. Got him.
There you go, Jason.
2 of them just showed up. You can see them fighting. Look at that. See them fighting on the active target there. There's another fish following it. Oh wow. Oh, walleye. What are you doing out here? My goodness. Isn't that crazy? I caught that fish. 3 fish showed up. As I'm reeling this fish in, another one's following. Look at them down there. So are those all walleyes? Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy, crazy. Over 30 feet of water. Well, whoever said walleyes are slouches, huh? That fish crushed it.
I think it's pretty fun because back home we're all walleye fishing, and we'll pick up a pike or a perch mixed in, you know, the mixed in terminology. But out here we're just jigging hard for those lake trout, and then you get the surprise walleye mixed in. Super fun.
I would have bet $1 million it was a school of lake trout, you know. Instead, Mr. Waldo crashes the party. All right. Well, gotta love accidental catches up in this part of the world, huh? Oh, love it. You know, as far as rods, line, and tackle, if you're less than 50 feet of water, you can just use say a 6.5 to 7 foot, maybe a medium heavy, fast action spinning rod. It's gonna work fine. But if you get out in deeper water, like say out to 60, 80, even 90 feet of water, if it's calm enough, you know, just a 7 foot medium heavy flipping stick, you're gonna want a heavier action. But one thing that can be really handy, especially if you don't have good electronics on your boat, is just using a line counter reel when you're jigging. That way you have a reference point in the sense of, say if you're in 80 feet of water, you're fishing right below the boat, you can see on the line counter, okay, I've got 60 feet of line out, I'm 20 feet off the bottom. And so line counters can work really good in deep water, especially just a low profile line counter. But just have a heavier action rod, medium heavy, even a heavy action at times, just something that's got a little bit of a tip to it, because again, you're in deep water, these fish have a hard mouth. The other thing is we're using exclusively braid. In that deep water, just the sensitivity and being able to set the hook without any stretch is really important. But just a 10 to 14 pound braid, stiff rod, fish right below the boat, and when you get hit, most cases there's no doubt in your mind how hard these fish strike will sometimes just blow you away. I mean, it's just, these fish are the ultimate predator. There's a fish. Got him. Oh, wow. Let a pot of them show up. Oh, come here. Oh, Lee, look at that. You just hang on. Look at that.
Oh, my.
Oh my. Oh my. Oh my. Oh, I can't get the rod on the water.
Bent over.
Oh, that's why we do this. Oh, wow.
Horsepower city.
Oh my. You don't really control them or tell them what to do. There she comes. Oh yeah, big fish. Oh yeah, look at that.
You close?
Oh. There we go. All
Good
right.
job, bud.
Came off right in the net. Isn't that cool? Oh. I don't know, there's just something about these rattle baits. I would say if I had a favorite bait for doing this, it'd be a rattle bait or a tube. So white classic tube will catch fish when nothing else will as well, but just a loud bait, lots of vibration. Look at that, that's just a gorgeous looking trout. Fish has still got a lot of fire in it. And the best way to grab them, as far as I'm concerned, you can stick your thumb in the corner of her mouth, but if they're big enough, I mean, you could get your hand in the gill plate, but just grip them right on the base of the tail. It kind of immobilizes them. But look at that, just a coloration, just a gorgeous looking fish. Oh, and a strong fish. We'll get this fish in the water. They swim away just as mad. That's good stuff,
Like
huh?
a tornado of 6 of them on the bottom coming up after you.
Get my gloves back on. It is, lake trout slime is cold.